Um, Hi, everybody. My name is Maru. I'm a Microverse student from Guatemala, and I am hosting this webinar with Clifton, but he'll join in just a second from the UK. So we will give you a short background on Microverse later on, but yeah, we're gonna introduce to our guest speaker today. So. Okay, first of all, I'm going to, before we introduce our guest speaker, I'm going to talk about Microverse a little bit, which is a remote software developers program that is completely free until you get a job. We have different courses in our program, ranging from data and algorithms, Ruby on Rails, HTML and CSS, JavaScript, and React and Redux. And we got a school full-time, usually from 8 to 5 p.m. every day. And we each have remote coding partner who we learn with. And every couple of weeks, we organize lunch and learns like this one. Hello, Clifton.
Hi, finally sorted it. Hey, Alexander.
So I guess I can pass it on to you so you can finish talking about Microverse.
Okay. Welcome viewers. For those of you joining us for the first time, like Maria was saying, Microverse is a program for remote software developers, and it's completely free until you get a job. There are different courses in our program, like Maria just mentioned, Ruby on Rails, HTML and CSS, Redux, React, JavaScript, data structures and algorithms, all fun stuff. The program is full-time, again, usually from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. every day, and it follows a remote pair programming approach. Every couple of weeks we have lunch and learns like this one, where we invite guest speakers like Alexander to come in and have a chat with our students. The goal is to inspire students, giving them different perspectives from professional software developers who experience software developers who work remotely as freelancers for cool companies or on open source projects. Before the lunch and learns were just closed to students only, but we've opened them up now to the general public in the hope to inspire others as well. That's about it. If you're looking for more information, do check the Microverse website, and if you're interested in joining the program. Yep, over to you, Maria.
Okay, so today we have Alexander Ageychenko. I don't know if I pronounce it right.
Yeah, almost right.
So we have him with us. First of all, thank you very much for taking the time to do this lunch and learn with us. It means a lot to us, and I'm going to turn the webinar over to you in a few seconds. But first, I just want to say that Alexander's soft skills has enabled him to become a senior engineer at Distillery, and which is an international company with over 200 employees. So that being said, to all of our attendees of this webinar, remember you can ask questions using the Q&A section in the webinar tool, and we will get to as many as we can after the talk. So, okay, Alexander, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Maria. Thanks, Clifton. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. It's a very nice community, and I'm really happy that people have this opportunity to learn engineering, to become programmers, and to learn it from really good specialists and really good professionals. I will really try not to tell you what to do or not to do. I'd rather like to tell a story about my life and how I became an engineer. And my story started when I was 5 years old. In this age, I was with my father in the university, and he was passing his exams. At that moment, I understand that I want to be an engineer, like my father. That was a very ambitious goal for a 5-year-old boy, and given I didn't understand what is an engineer at all, but I had a goal. And that goal had driven me through all the years of teenager. And when the time has came to enter the university, I decided to go to the same university my father did, and even to the same faculty. It was a radiotechnical university with a lot of radiotechnics around. And well, I didn't like radiotechnics that much as my father, so I decided to cheat a bit and went to another specialty, which was informational systems and technologies. It was all about constructing different systems, everything that has display on it, and somehow connected with each other, usually with Bluetooth or something else. 5 years has passed. It's 5 years in Russia usually. And I understand that engineering itself is not really my thing, but I do love programming more like that. Unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of programming lessons and programming subjects in the university, so I had to study myself. We had a few here and there, but it was just most basics without any algorithms. We haven't studied data structures or anything else. I had to learn everything by books, by heart, and just try. And when I tried, I've applied as an Android engineer to the small company in my local town. It was like 10 people company. And I know really nothing, not about Java, not about Android, about anything. I just came and said, okay, I want to be an Android engineer, but I really don't know anything, but I want to. They accepted me. I don't know why. They just give me some tasks, like make some application with the list of images on the Android. I spent like 3 weeks trying to do that, but I've accomplished that, and they hired me for a very, very low salary, but still, it was something. I started doing different tasks, different projects, started to understand what's QA process, what is project management, what's everything goes on around this, because it was very different from the university. And it was really scary. It was scary, and was afraid that I won't do it. I just can't. I don't know anything. I don't know about programming. I don't know algorithm. I don't know anything. But, well, it appeared I really didn't have to know everything from the start, because every task you get, every project you get, you start learning from start. It's always something new. You just open your browser, write to Google how to do that, how to do that, how to do that, and spend half of your day just typing how to get into the Google. Well, that helps from the start, and that's how I acquired most of my knowledge in technical field from the first, I think, a year and a half. Then I moved to another company. It was a bigger company, and it has much more like established processes. They had QA engineers, they had project managers. Well, we haven't in the previous company. So it was all from the start. You need to learn again, start again from this basics, start to learn how to work in a team, to work with other developers, to work with other engineers, managers, QA team, and everything else. And it was just like a blank list. You need to start from the scratch and learn everything. And that's where I've understood what soft skill is. And from my understanding at that time, soft skill is something that you need to learn every time from scratch. It's not something you just learned and you can apply everywhere. It's something you learned and you need to adapt all the time, again and again. And the more efficiently you can adapt your skills, your knowledges to the new situation, new requirements, the better your soft skills are probably. And I really liked psychology at that time. And I've read a lot of books about psychology, about different people relationships and all this stuff. And I thought that I'm really smart. I really thought like that. And I thought, okay, I know psychology. I read like dozens of books about psychology. I can tell everything about the people. But it appeared that I really couldn't do anything in real situations, because I've read a lot about conflicts, how you should behave in a conflict, how you should feel in a conflict, all this stuff. But when I faced my first conflict, I was just stuck. I couldn't tell anything. My palms were sweaty, my knees were shaking, and I just couldn't do anything. I knew what to do, but I couldn't do it. I was just afraid that some senior engineers was screaming at me because I dropped the table in production or something like that. I didn't really remember what happened. But it was so scary and it was so stressful. I spent like a few days after that just trying to understand what's happened and how should I have reacted to that. Because despite all my knowledges, all the books I've read, it didn't help me. Because when you face a real situation in a person, and usually it's a conflict, probably, maybe some disagreement, maybe some discussion or anything else, you just get in a fight with someone, you really feel different than you expect. And the only way to cope with it is to experience it again. Get in another conflict, get in another fight with someone over some technology or anything else, and analyze yourself. That way, I've learned how I should behave in a conflict, what emotions I can feel, how I can feel myself, what should I do, what I shouldn't do in a conflict. And the more conflict I was involved in, well, because of the same senior engineer who really likes screaming at everybody around him, I've learned a lot of stuff I've never read in the books. How people behave in different conflicts in real life, not like it's written in the book, like he can cross his hands, he can say in these pose and these pose. No, it's not like that. Real life is always more complicated, and a lot of guys in engineering, they don't really have these soft skills. They don't really know how to behave in such situations, and that's visible. That's visible from the side. If you see a guy who behaves like in some fancy way or something, and you can tell that if he will get in a conflict with someone in the team, will he be capable of ruling this out or not? And when you start seeing that, you start pay more attention to the things that could be really more important than technical knowledges. Things that will help you to progress as a developer. Because technical knowledges, they're really pretty simple in the end. You need to spend a lot of time to learn everything. You need to spend a lot of time to learn all algorithms, all data structures, everything. But that's things you learn once and you know for life. You don't need to adapt it all the time. Like, some sorting algorithms. They're all the same. Yeah, different languages, different punctuation, but everything else is the same. You need just to use it in the same way you used all the time before. With the soft skills, you have to adapt. You have to evolve. You have to track all the situations, all requirements. Everything matters. Context matters in all situations. And all situations that involve soft skills will require a lot of work to do. In order to acquire such skills, you actually need to get into the situation. You need to feel it. You need to go through it and repeat again and again and again until you master it. And mastering soft skills is not only hard thing to do, but also time consuming. And a lot of engineers I know, a lot of engineers I've graduated with from university, they haven't spent enough time for that in the university while they were learning something. They only spend time on technical skills, on technical knowledges. Well, that's why I'm now a senior engineer and they're not, most of them, because they're stuck with technical skills. Yeah, they're really good technical experts. They know a lot of stuff about technologies. But when it comes to the personal skills, to the social skills, to the motivation, well, they're really far behind because they haven't spent time for that when there was time for that. And now they have to spend their personal time to learn all these skills, to learn how to behave in different situations, to get around different people and see how to behave in different situations. Well, I really hope that you will spend more time on social skills, on soft skills, on personal skills, because that's what matters in the end. When you have two different engineers, they're both technical experts, of course, they have a lot of knowledge and everything else, you will choose the one that have better soft skills, that can handle different situations, that can handle conflicts in the team, that can lead a team, that can motivate himself, that can discuss different topics with different people, with different culture background. And that will matter much more than his technical expertise, because technical expertise is something you really can get from books. Soft skills you only can acquire in real life, in real situations. The more you have them, the easier you will get the skills. From my experience, when I moved to another company with a huge team, we had like almost 20 Android engineers, like more than 10 of them working on the same projects from different countries, from different cultures. My ability to cope in different situations and cope with different people really helped me to get into it. It really helped me to understand other people, to understand how should I behave with different people, how should I talk to different people. Because when you work with the people in the same country, in the same culture, it's much easier. You always know how everyone behaves, what the culture difference is. Oh, I know this guy from Moscow, they behave like that. Or I know these guys from South regions, they're really aggressive. Something like that. You really can apply some knowledges you acquired through life. But when you start working with the different people from different nations, different culture, everything changes. The way you speak as you used to can be considered rude from other people. The way you write messages can be maybe rude. Maybe it will be considered as harassment even. Who knows? Because other people can see, think, and feel differently. And if you can understand how different people can feel and how they can react to your actions, that will show how your empathy works, how your emotional intelligence works. And that's part of the soft skills. Emotions, feelings, people relations, socializing skills, personal traits, it's all soft skills. And you can learn them from books to some degree, but usually it's mostly theory. That's useful. You really should try to read some books about that. But it's useless in real life until you actually try to apply it. And that's what I've tried to do for several years. And only recently I started to feel that it actually helps me. It helps me to move through my job. It helps me to accomplish my goals, both personal and professional. And it helps me to cope with different situations. I see my friends who really lack soft skills. They don't care about them. They think it's just something that's not useful for them. They stuck in different situations. They can't handle issues with the project team. They can't handle different conflicts with the managers or something else. And it really bothers them. And they don't know what to do with it. But I try to help them and say, okay, have you tried to talk like that? Have you tried to approach it and say you're sorry or something? And that really helps them in some cases. Well, in a lot of cases. And I see that people who lack soft skills and social skills start to acquire them. It really starts helping them even from the start. In the simplest situations, in the most life situations, not only on the project, but in their personal lives, it really helps. And that's what you can acquire sitting at home, talking with friends, going into the bar with your friend or something like that. It's a skills that you can acquire all the time, not only when you learn them from books, not only when you work on the project. It's something that you can learn everywhere. And that's something you should do probably. That's what I've decided for myself, at least. And I've started trying to apply at least different 5-6 types of behavioral patterns in different situations and see how it goes. And I started to notice that people behave differently when I start behaving differently. They react differently when I behave differently. And noticing all these nuances and minute details in the people behavior really can help you to understand them better. And the better you understand the person, the better you can cooperate with them, the better you can work with them, or even achieve some goals together. And that's what the team is for, to achieve some goals. If you have a project, you have a team on a project, you need to work with people. You can do your job and go home, or you can cooperate with people and achieve much, much more different things. From the learning perspective, I've tried a lot of different techniques. You can read a lot of books like how to train your soft skills in 10 days, how to train your soft skills like in a month. Do these steps and you will acquire soft skills. They don't work usually because they have really, really narrow approach, which is only for 1 or 2 goals that can help you to achieve all your goals, can help you to achieve your dream job probably. And if you want to achieve them, you need to spend a lot of time. You need to understand that acquiring soft skills will take years to master. And a lot of people who are like senior engineers, managers, top management, they really have very good soft skills. They have very good social skills. And that's the people you can learn from. See how they behave in different situations, see how they answer, see how they put their questions, and try to understand why do they do it like that? Is there any reason? Either like they just behave like that naturally, or they trying to behave like that. They're trying to show themselves in these different ways from different sides, because usually that's what they actually do. And that's what I've learned from my managers, from my CTO in previous company, in current company. These people I'm trying to watch on, and that's people I can learn from. And if you have a really good CTO or managers or senior engineers in your company, try to watch not only their technical solutions, trying to watch how they behave in their life, how they behave in pull requests, for example, in a GitHub, how they comment other solutions. That's very important. Because when I've started working in the international team, I've understand that I can't formulate my thoughts correctly so other people can understand them. And that could be considered a soft skill. Soft skill I've lacked when I've started working in the international company. And that's a soft skill I had to master. I hope I was successful in that, because now I think I'm really better at it. When working with other people and you're trying to tell them something that you think, your ideas, like how to do something in a better way, or maybe some solution is not that good. You need to think really carefully how you will formulate your thoughts in the words, because the thing you will tell people will determine how they will react on it. And if you want to be a really effective developer, efficient developer, and if you want to be a really good developer that everyone wants to work with, you also need to be a very soft skill developed developer, if you can say so. In cases with pull requests, for example, or comments, or some documentation, you need to think not only about how technically efficient solution is, how it's perfect from memory or time or frames. Sorry, a bit nervous. You should think about its efficiency, time consuming, memory consuming, all this stuff, but you also need to think about how you will tell other people about improvements you see, how you will tell other people that the solution is not very good, or something like that. Because the way you will tell this to people will determine how they will react, if they will listen to you, if they will understand you, or if they will think that you're trying to harass them, or you don't like the solution because of something. In a case with solutions like that, you need to master your soft skills in a socializing way. You need to understand how people think, how they react to your thoughts and ideas, how they speak by themselves, and see what you can improve. Always try to improve. I'm trying to improve everything I say every time I say it. It's a way I try to improve my skills. When I type something or left some comment, I try to read it carefully and think how I can say the same idea in a better way. And if I see that people don't understand what I mean, or they understand it differently, I try to find another words, another phrases that will help me to express my ideas. If you will find a good way to express yourself in the way that people just won't be able to understand you incorrectly, that would be the way you can master your skills. That can be the way you can teach other people or tell other people what they can do to improve themselves. If you will be able to master all the skills and really good at socializing, really good at understanding other people's needs, your personal traits, that will allow you to achieve very, very, I think, ambitious goals, become a manager, become a chief technical officer or something like that. And it also will allow you to live happily, live a happier life, and be a better developer, be a better engineer, be a better person. In current situation in the world, a lot of companies start to consider soft skills more important than technical skills. It wasn't like that a few years ago. It wasn't like that like 10 years ago. A lot of companies only looked for technical experts. They didn't care about social skills, about soft skills, about anything else. Everyone thought like, if someone is a good technical expert, he's a good engineer. But it's not like that usually. A good engineer is also a good person, not only a good technical expert. Now a lot of companies start to understand that, and they start to recognize social skills, soft skills. They start looking for that. You can see it in interviews, in different surveys for technical experts. You can apply for a job. They usually have several questions. Okay, how will you behave in such situation? If your colleague will start harassing you, how will you react? A lot of companies are looking for people who can cope with different situations in a team, in a social, in personal traits. And that's what they're looking for. If you want to become a really valuable developer, a really good developer in all cases, you need to master your social skills, so your soft skills, not only technical skills. Please keep that in mind. Because I've really skipped that part for my university years, and I've spent several years after the university trying to understand how I can improve these soft skills. And because I've started doing that pretty early, that allowed me to become a senior engineer in like 5 years. That's not usually what people can achieve in such a short period of time. Well, at least not in a big company. Because when you're a senior engineer in a 10-people company, that's one thing. When you're a senior engineer in 200-people company, that's totally different. And one of the difference between senior engineers and middle and junior engineers is the soft skills. Because technically, middle engineer can be as good as senior engineer, but for the senior engineer, it's required to be a mentor for someone. If you can mentor someone, that's a good way to improve your soft skills, actually. Senior engineer also required to see how a project goes, see how technical solutions are applied, see how team feels, maybe become a team leader, tech leader. Depends on what's better for you. From my side, I try to become maybe a team leader in future, but I really need to improve my soft skills in order to achieve that. Because I see a lot of good team leaders who work around me, and I see a lot of stuff I can learn from them. Their skills I can learn from them. And I know that will take another year or two maybe to understand all the nuances and minute details, but I think it's worth it. Because technical skills are really good for everyday job, for completing tasks. Soft skills are mandatory if you want to go further, if you want to become a better person, a better developer. Well, I think that's all from my side. That's my story and my understanding of the soft skills. Naya?
Hi, Alexander.
Hi.
Yeah, I think I'm all done with my speech. Well, I was too nervous, sorry.
Thanks. That was, well, we couldn't really tell you were nervous, so you're okay. I think your story is truly inspiring, especially your emphasis on how important soft skills is to like your professional growth as well as your career development. How quickly you'll say you climb the ladder, as that's like the differentiating factor. And I find that even for myself, really, really inspiring and something to make a note of. We've collected some questions. We have some questions from the audience that we'd like to put to you now. I think, let's just see. Well, we'll just get straight to it. There's a question from Ahmed who's asking, from your point of view, can you tell us the 3 top soft skills that make you a developer everybody wants to work with?
Well, I put emotional intelligence at the number 1. Like if you know there is IQ that everybody thinks that shows how smart are you, but also there is an EQ, emotional intelligence. It's how well you can understand others people's emotions. Because in all situations, if you understand how people feel, you will understand why they're behaving like that, why they're talking like that, what do they really mean. And that's the skill I think you should master, one of the first. The next one, I think, is ability to motivate yourself. If you can see your goal far away, you will move to it. If you cannot understand why you are doing what you are doing, you will not be efficient. If you don't understand what is the reason of working on that job, on that project, you won't be efficient. You will spend a lot of time in your thoughts trying to figure out what's going on. And if you can motivate yourself, you can set goals, achieve them, move further, that will help you in all situations, not only in projects. And the third one, I'd say, is socializing. Ability to make contact with people, make friends, and usually be a good person in the company.
It's good. Just to pick up on that, there's also a question about whether the skills you need in a remote setting, the soft skills you need working in a remote setting, do they differ much from the soft skills you need like working within the environment in the company?
Well, I'd say that soft skills for remote work is much more important, because in that case you don't see people around. You can just tell something or behave as usual. You need to really understand how they feel in their personal lives, because they're sitting at home as you do. They're doing their job. Maybe the cat bites their hand or something like that. You don't know what's going on there, and you really need to be very, very sensitive to their words, to their feelings, to their emotions, because that will help you to understand how you should behave. That will help you to solve any problems.
Okay, it's very, very insightful. There's someone asking, like, I don't know what you think, but they're saying they've worked in a different industry, and they're saying the soft skills required for the IT, like software engineering or programming, the soft skills you require, are they the same? Are they similar, or are there differences?
I think
coming
the soft
from a
skills
different industry
are the same in all industries. In IT industry, socializing is more important, because you have to talk to a lot of people. You have to have a lot of connections. You have to talk to a manager, to a designer, to a QA team, to some other developers. You have to make a lot of discussions. And the better you are at socializing, the easier it will be. A lot of other industries, they don't require that amount of people interactions. So soft skills for these industries could be a little bit different. They have different priorities. For example, motivation can be number 1 priority, because if you're working for some machine with no people around, you really need to motivate yourself.
That's true. There's a personal question from someone here who's recently lost their job. They got fired from their first job as a software developer, and and I'd like to know, well, how you would handle that, how you would go about that.
That's a hard question. I was afraid of being fired for like several years when I started working as a developer, because I really thought that I'm really bad and they will fire me. And I have a plan what I would do if they fire me. First of all, you need to get your things done. Like everything you need to finish, try to finish it so nothing will bother you. Then start looking for a new job. It's really hard when you don't have a job to look for another one, because you try to catch any opportunity you have. It could be the case, if you really need money, that can be the case. Catch any opportunity you have and then start looking for a better one. But if you have some time or some money in cash hidden somewhere in your room, try to calm yourself and look not only for a first opportunity, but for a best opportunity you can find. That can take some time, so it requires some patience.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You've already touched on the soft skills needed by a developer, but someone's asking still, like, if you'd summarize the soft skills you would say needed by a developer. But I think you've already touched on the top 3, but maybe a couple more soft skills.
Well, there are a lot of soft skills. Actually, if you try to Google soft skills and open the Wikipedia page, there will be like dozens of them. And they're split into different categories: that personal traits, socializing, people skills, emotional skills, all this stuff. For a software engineer, I'd say time management is very important. There are a lot of techniques. Try to Pomodoro technique, one of the famous ones, really helpful. Ability to solve different problems you never faced before. That's very important, because that's what we usually do. We solve problems we never solved before. The way you find solution or ask someone or just Google it, it depends what you can do. It will define how efficient you will be. Time management, problem solving, critical thinking, I'd say, is also very important. But socializing, emotional intelligence, I think the most important, because you really have to work a lot with people.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's another question here asking about the top 3 problems you face in work, real life as a developer. What would you say are the top 3 problems, and what soft skills would you require to go about handling those situations?
Well, I'd say problem number 1 is a lot of conflicts in a team based on different technologies or different opinions. I think we should do like that. Someone else should think we should do another way. Third guy says, "Oh, we should throw it all away. We need to do it another way." And ability to find solution in such cases is very important, and it's very hard usually. You need to find a compromise, or just revise your own thoughts. That's critical thinking is for. In terms of maybe they're right, maybe we should go another way, or maybe I should push for my solution. What you need to do, it's case by case basis. It's never a golden rule for such cases, and it's very hard to find solution in each of them. And it's usually like several days spent after trying to understand if I really do the best I can. In personal life, I'd say it's time management, because, well, I'm working from home as all of my company, and it's really hard to differentiate your personal life from your work life, because your work life doesn't end when you're at home. It's like you just open a notebook, you're just watching a movie, hope someone messaged you, okay, try to solve some problem, and here you go, 2 hours overtime. That happens all the time. So time management is the most important problem nowadays in current situation.
Okay. You've also touched on working with different people and different people from different backgrounds. There's someone here just asking how would you say, like, the importance of cultures, working with different cultures and different nationalities, and how would you say that is, how important that is to a career as a software developer, having worked with people from different backgrounds?
I think that's somewhat important. If you want to work in a big company, that's very important. If you don't mind working in a local company that only have local developers, that's not very important, but it will help you to see people from different perspectives. Because when you're working with the people you know, that grow in your town, you have a lot of common memories, you have a lot of common culture, it's much easier. When you start working with people from different cultures, you start to see what's different with your opinion, their opinion, why they think differently. It really makes your world wider, I'd say. It really allows you to see people from different perspectives, and even people around you in your country, in your town, you can see what's different in them, how you can improve your relations with them by knowing their sides from perspective of people from other countries.
Okay, it's great. It's great. You've also mentioned a lot about emotional intelligence. There's someone asking, how do you go about actually learning that skill, emotional intelligence? How do you go about learning it?
Well, first you need to understand what is emotional intelligence. That's what books are for. You can try. There is a few books about emotional intelligence. One thick one, that's why I recommend. I don't remember the author, but it's the thickest one. You will recognize it immediately. It tells about emotional intelligence from perspective of medicine, like neurology, behavioral chemistry, and all this stuff. After that, you can try to learn your emotions, try to understand what you feel in different situations. One of the most important ways, of easiest way to understand that, and when you become angry at something, try to stop for a bit and understand what's exactly making you angry. Their behavior, their look, why it makes you angry. Because they look at you with squeezed eyes, or because they talk with you in different tone, or because they throw a pen at you. What's exactly makes you angry? When you start thinking about your emotions, you start better understand them, because usually you don't really pay attention to any emotions you feel. You just feel them and they passed, okay. When you start feeling any emotion, try to calm down and understand what exactly causes that emotion. What exactly do you feel? When you start to understand your own emotions, you will notice emotions of other people. Because when you understand what exactly do you feel, what makes you feel so bad or so good, you can make others people feel the same way. You can understand what they will feel in the same situation, and that can help. I guess it will help you to start with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's also someone asking, how would you go about convincing teammates about an approach to a solution of a problem? How would you go about getting them on board on your side?
No, that's a problem. Trying to find a solution for another year, I think. How to convince other people that I am right? Well, there is no golden rule for that as well. Case by case basis. First of all, you need to understand why do they have such opinion that's different from yours. They have different background. They have different knowledge. Maybe they faced situations that make them think so. Understanding why they think so will help you to understand what's common points you have. When you found common points, you can start and figure out maybe you're wrong in that case. You shouldn't convince them, they should convince you. And when you find some common points, you will try to find a better solution for a problem. Don't really catch, but your solution, it's my solution is good. No, it's not like that all the time. Try to think from different perspectives. Okay. Given you have different solutions, you need to think them from abstraction, from the side. Is this really a better solution for a problem? Maybe there is another one, maybe a third one, fifth one. There are always another way. Try to understand if there is really your way is the best one. Try to prove it with some measurements, statistics, analytics, anything else. If it's based only on your opinion and it can be measured, maybe it's not that good. The best way to prove your opinion, show numbers. If it's a point solution, if it's something subjective like readability and the stability of the code, well, that's where a majority can choose. Just ask someone else. Go find 2 more people, show them 2 solutions, and see what they comment. If 3 people agree on something, we probably should do that.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I think we should be coming up soon. Maybe we can take a couple more questions, Maria.
Yeah, I guess, and wrap it up.
Yeah. There's a question of someone asking, how would you handle like a coworker talking behind your back in a bad way? How would you handle it? How would you confront them? Would you go straight up to them directly, or how would you handle such a situation?
Well, I actually had such situations in past, and well, I left the job in one case because this coworker was superior and he was more valuable than me actually. In another case, I've approached person personally, and I've tried to ask, why do you behave like that? I make you angry, you're nervous or something, just what's going on? First few times he sent me very far away with curse words. Next time he told me that I'm just stupid and don't understand things. Next time I've approached him again, he started actually talking again. Okay, you made such solution. It's very not a smart solution. You should have done differently. And I tried to ask him why you should think so, how I should have behaved, and he started to explain. And in such cases, you need to like avoid any negativity from your side. Just keep asking, be friendly, try to convince, okay, it's important for me. I want to understand what's going on. We have to work together. We have to find a solution for this. A lot of people will be very aggressive about their position. They will be very protective. You need to push forward. Just don't be aggressive from your side.
Thanks. I think that's about all we have time for. Thanks a lot for taking your time, Alexander.
Thank you very much for allowing me.
Questions. I'll hand over to you, Maria.
Yeah, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you again, Alexander, for all your words or your wisdom. So, do you have any parting words to advise to our students?
Try to spend more time learning social skills, soft skills, outside of the projects, outside your work, with your friends, with your family. These are people which will be affected by your soft skills improvements in the first place. Just spend more time. It will be time consuming. You have to just accept it.
Okay, that's
very
like good advice.
Good summary.
Yeah, good summary. Can you maybe, because I know all the questions here weren't maybe or they have more questions. So can is there a way we can reach out to you, or our students can reach out to you later?
I think I will type my Twitter or LinkedIn profile in the chat so you can reach me out.
Yes, thank you very much. So yeah. So
yep, here's my Twitter.
Thank you. So there you have it. You can ask add Alexander and ask him all the questions you might have from this.
I'll try to answer everyone.
Thank you so much, Alexander, for your time again. And I hope everybody can join us for the next Lunch and Learn. We'll soon enough we'll tell you about it. Or I don't know if you know, Clifton. No? No? Okay. So soon enough you'll hear about it. And yeah, that's all for today. And have a great
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for participating and coming in.
Thanks guys. Thanks Alexander.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.